Good morning, dear students. In previous section, we have learned the theoretical concept about the donut chart. So today I am going to create the donut chart. Let me create it first, then you are trying to do it. Okay. So for creating donut chart, we have to first select the pie from the marks card. Okay. And then we have to select any measure for creating the chart. So suppose I am going to select the cells into the angle, then it will create the pie chart for the cells. So as we know that this is the value of the total number of cells, and suppose I want to check the region wise cells. So at that time we have to drag the region into the colors. So it will look like this. It will gives us the number of cells region wise. Okay. And then as we know that the pie chart represent the value in form of the percentile. So we have to select the percentile from, click on sum of cells, go to quick table calculation and click on the percent of total. Okay. So now after hovering on the pie chart, it will gives the value in form of the percentile, and it gives us the 100% value by performing the addition operation. After that, we need some values through which we can calculate the aggregate function. So whenever I am going to put the number of records or order count into the row section, we are unable to perform the aggregation function on this. So for that, I have created one field, that is a calculated field called as a number of record, and put the entry of 1 into that record. So I am going to edit it so you can see the calculations. So just add the title of the field and put 1. Click OK. Then select the number of record into the row. So it will automatically create the sum as an aggregate function. Okay. So go to the that measure name, click on measure. So by default it give us sum as an aggregate function. Keep at keep this aggregation as it is. And for the donut chart, we need the dual axis. So just click on the control and create one more field. Then click on sum of number of record, that is second measure, and click on the dual axis. Okay. After that, we have to click on the second measure and we have to remove this field from the second measure. So I am going to remove it. Okay. After that, we have to increase the size of this pie chart and select the background color as a white. Then we have to click on our first measure, that is sum of number of records. Again go to the size and just increase the size of chart. So it will create the donut chart. Okay. So instead of standard, I am going to select the entire view. So it will display us the donut chart properly. Now what is the difference between both? In pie chart we are unable to use this center space, but in donut chart we can use it. Okay. So suppose I have to display the number of cells into this field, the middle part, and as we know that we will create this middle part with the help of second measure. So click on the second one and select the sum of cells and drag into the label. Okay. So in this way we can display the number of records here, and we can display the other record in form of the percentile. So in this way we can create the donut chart. Okay. Now you can try to implement the donut chart on your Tableau setup. So I'm going to clear it first. We will do it simultaneously. Just drop the message in chat box after the completion. Okay. So first open your Tableau setup. Then select the pie chart from the marks card. After that, select cells and put it into the angle. So it will display the total number of cells. So as we have to make a slice of the pie chart, that's why we are going to select any kind of dimension here. Okay. So I am going to pick a region and place into the colors. So it will display the region wide cells. Okay. After that, we have to display these cells in form of the percentile. So go to the marks card, go to the sum of cells, click and go to the quick table calculation, and after that select percent of total. After that, you have to create one calculated field. For that, go to the analysis and click on create calculated field. Okay. Then give some title like number of records and place 1 here. And click on apply OK. As I already created calculated field, that is number of records. Okay, I'm going to edit it. Like this, you have to make a calculated field. Then drag that number of record field into the row 2 times because we have to create the dual axis. Okay. After that, go to second measure, that is number of record, and click on dual axis. So as we are already on second record, so go to the marks card and remove the field from that marks card. Remove both field from the marks card. So the pie chart is look like this. Then change the size of pie chart. Increase the size and select background color as a white. Okay, after that, go to the first measure. Go to the first measure and go to the size and increase the size of chart. Okay. So it will create the donut chart. Go to the view and select entire view. Instead of standard, select entire view. Again go to the second measure and drag cells into the label. Okay. So it will display the number of cells here and it will display the region wise cells in form of percentile. This is donut chart. Okay. I hope you are able to draw it. So in previous lecture, we learn about the different kind of action items in which we learn about before creating any kind of data, what kind of things we have to do first. Like first, we should know about what type of data on which we are working. Then we have to find out the how often that data will be refreshed. Okay, how are your users, what are the requirement of your users, what kind of devices are used by your users, what are the goal and what are the matrices. After that we are going to focus on the dashboard metrics. Okay, so most importantly, the while designing the dashboard, we have to choose the right metrics for our dashboard. So for that, we have to follow the following four attributes. In that, the first one is the actionable, transparent, accessible, and recognizable. So first, involve a specific and repeatable action that can be linked to the observed data. Then the metric should leverage relatively simple and transparent calculations, making it easy for users to follow them. So whatever, in case of the calculations, we can say that we have to create the simple calculated fields which are easy for the user to follow them or to understand this. Similar way we are creating the calculated field for the donut chart. Okay, so these are the very simple calculation. We are just keeping the number of records into one field, and by using that field we are able to create the charts. Then the third is the metrics need to come from accessible and creditable source. Okay, and finally its meaning is recognizable throughout the dashboard. Means whatever thing you are using while designing the dashboard, it must be recognizable for the user. So this is example of the dashboard metrics. So as we know that metrics are nothing but the data, but only that data is in form of either this is the in order form, in quantity form, or in aggregated form. So we can say that the data must be clear, distinct, and consistent. So focus on these fields like sales, financial, fulfillment, and human resources. So what it means, what are the matrices which are related to the sales, what are the metrics which are related to the financial goals. Okay, in sales, what kind of metrics we have to follow or we have to consider? So we can say that in sales, metrics could be the number of order or sale price. Okay, sales, these are the metrics which are related to the sales. Then what are the fulfillment? So we can say that the metrics can be the number of days required to ship a product or level of the revenue. Okay, level of the product we can say. Then what are the metrics which are related to the financial, like revenues generated from the number of sales, or what kind of expenses and profit work. So all these things are related to the financial. And at the end, the human resource. So in human resource we can select the employee satisfaction rates. Okay, or we can say the turnover rates for the human resource. So these are the metrics, examples of metrics based on the sales, financial, human resource, and the fulfillment. Again, one scenario is given in this example. So whenever we are considering the sales as a category, what are the things are related to the sales? Like these sales are related to the bookings, billings, pipelines, number of orders, order amount, and the selling price. Okay. Then if the category is marketing, then what are the metrics are involved in the marketing, such as market share, campaign success, customer demographics. If the category is the finance, then metrics are revenues, expenses, and the profit. For the technical support, the metrics are number of support call, resolved cases, customer satisfaction, and call durations. Okay. Again, if the category is the fulfillment, then the metrics are number of days to ship, backlog, and inventory level. For the manufacturing, the number of units manufactured, manufacturing times, and the number of defects. And if the category is the human resource, then the metrics are employee satisfaction, employee turnover, count of open positions, count of late performance reviews. Okay. So all these things are related to the dashboard designing. You should know what kind of things you have to pick while designing the dashboard. After that, the metrics must be the following. Metrics must be comparable in the following categories. So first, comparison might be related to the time, cross, and goal. Comparing metrics against time can allow you to represent the trend and make a comparison against point in the past or even against the future forecast. Comparing metrics across one another allow a user to analyze the certain variable to see if there is any correlation between them. Okay. Again, comparing metrics across goals allows the business to chart their progress against their predetermined target. Okay. So the comparable may having the time comparison, cross comparison, and the goal comparison. Now there are 5 keys to successful information driven application. So in that, the first one is the information reach and self content. So what it means, as we know that while designing the dashboard, data is a very important thing, because we can analyze the data, and through that analyze we are selecting what kind of charts we have to draw. For that, your dashboard contain reach and self content information that minimize the required trips back to the server. Okay. Then your information must be actionable. Actionable information is built around a user workflow. Okay. Then the next one is the mass personalized distribution, which gives us the auto roller driven customization through any media, and your data must have the real time insights. Okay. So insights, to finding out the insight is also the important role of the data analyst. And finally, the mobile optimize. So why mobile optimize? As we know that there are so many users, they can use the mobile phone instead of the desktop or the laptop. So your dashboard must be visible on the mobile screen. Then the next topic is to understand what are the different kind of a guideline for designing the dashboard, and understand the common pitfalls of dashboard design. So when deciding what visualization to display on dashboard, the possibilities are endless, right? Because every human being having the different perception. For the same data set, the different user can select the different chart. For that, we have to identify the audience and their interest and the business purpose for the dashboard. Then, to identify the critical metrics, you must understand your audience, engage in a process to build the prototype, sketches and markup for your organization, and we should have the up-to-date data. Okay. So there are 2 scenarios are given. The first one is for the mobile phone, and as we know that the how much space is available on the mobile, and the next one is for the desktop. So as compared to mobile, we have a much space on the desktop. So the dashboard, we can show the dashboard on desktop more conveniently than the mobile phone. After that, there are some guidelines or the structure while designing the dashboard. In that, the first one is the flow structure. A flow-based structure emphasizes sequence and action across time that leads movement to an sales pipeline, or showing the stage of a customer support and operational process that support it. The second one is the relationship structure. So relationship structure emphasize the connection between the entities or measures, which may be mathematical, geographical or functional. So as we know about the entities and the measures. And the last one is the grouping structure. So the grouping structure is related, it is a group related information into categories or the hierarchies. So as we know that for the To display the hierarchical data, we can use the tree map, and for the classification, we can use the heap map. So the chart selection is basically depends on the structure of the data. So this is the dashboard layout. So whenever we are designing the any kind of data, the most critical information should place on the left side and the supporting details must be placed on the right side. So you have to follow this rule while designing the dashboard. Okay. Now, while designing the dashboard, we should include the following content. So in that, the first one is, instead of placing the whole information into the table format, we should break information into bite-sized module expressions. Then the second thing is, they should move from key metrics to context to break out the detail. They should effectively use visualization to draw our eyes to what is most important. Then the next one is, they should support the casual use. If user need a large guide to learn how to understand the dashboard, then then your design has failed. Okay, so you have to focus on the design. Then the next one is, your dashboard should empower users to act on information. They should be relevant for all kinds of users, and they should provide the context and explanations so users don't misinterpret the data. Okay. So by designing the dashboard, you have to follow all these things. Now there are some functionality of the dashboards, and we can add these functionality into our dashboard. Okay. So in that, some are the basic functionality and some are the advanced. So in first functionality is, basic functionality is the drill down. So drill down means what? To get more information than what is displayed on the page. Okay. So in drill down phase, we can get the detailed information related to that page. Then second is the filter option. Okay. So as we know that we can use the filter information view and sort the data based on the particular category and values. Okay. So basically the filter is used to filter out the data. We can also use this function into the Tableau. On filter tab, we can select the things on which we have to filter our data. Okay, suppose we have to filter our data month wise, then we can select the date field into the filter section and we can filter our data with that field. Then the next one is the comparison. So we can compare more than two subset of a data side by side using comparison. Next is the alerts. So alerts uses when metrics reach predetermined level. Okay. So in alerts option, we can set the value for that chart or for that activity. Then next is the edit and save. So edit and save custom views of data. Either it can create the data or edit the data. Then the next are the advanced options. So what are the advanced options available in the dashboard functionality? In that the first one is the summarize. So advanced dashboard can also automatically generate the textual description of key information. They allow user to identify the elements that are most important to them. Okay. So in that we can use the summarize, star and tag, annotate and visualize. So we can use all these options into Tableau while designing the dashboard for a particular data.